gentlemen, welcome to another episode of It's a Man's World. I am Dario.
And I'm Naive.
Still will always be Forever Jason, you know.
You added on to it? You added on to
Still
it?
ever will.
Calm down, calm down.
You gotta copyright
You don't even
that.
warm down. You're doing too much. You're doing too much.
Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we have an unusual topic, but a topic that I think we all agree needs to be discussed. It's how to have an argument. And when we say how to have an argument, we don't mean, how to go out and just literally argue with everybody. But in the circumstances when an argument does arise, how do you handle it?
When you say having an argument, basically mean with
Between me and you, me
Exactly.
and Jason.
Let's say you and your, let's say me and my spouse.
whoa, exactly. That makes sense.
How to have an
That
argument
makes
with
more
your partner.
Okay.
How to have productive, somewhat heated conversations.
And still be able to walk away and leave it right there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we'll discuss that and so much more when we're back after these messages.
Stay
See you guys in
tuned.
a few.
Personalized living at Living Spaces. Create a space that's unique to your lifestyle. Best price guaranteed. 10 to 40% off selected pieces. Living Spaces, Old Palm Road.
But it would mean nothing, nothing, nothing. You're not a woman or a girl.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, and it's another episode of It's Man's World. Still Dario.
Still Naive.
Forever Jason.
And we're still talking about how to have an argument with your partner. We want to give you our perspective, what's worked for us, what hasn't worked for us in the past when situations of arguments come up. And why would you need to argue, Jason?
Okay, well, in my opinion, my point of view of
Yeah.
arguments. If you don't argue, if there's not an argument in a relationship, it's actually going to make you feel paranoid. It's
Paranoid?
because you're going to be thinking, okay, something is wrong here.
Yeah.
This is too
I can see that.
perfect. So, something is going on. So it makes you inquisitive, and it may actually lead you to do things that you are not supposed
So you have an argument just so you're not paranoid?
Well,
Is that what you're saying?
not necessarily.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm
All right,
saying.
no problem.
That's not what I'm saying. Arguments actually liven up a relationship
In some cases.
in
yeah.
some cases, because think about what happens after an argument.
Some of them livened up Facebook too.
Moving right along from this unwanted conversation.
Right.
Yeah. When you have an argument, now you're arguing with your spouse. If it's one thing, I would rate Neo for one song, and I was mad
Right.
because that song made a lot of sense.
I understand what you
Because
mean.
sometimes when your spouse is upset, she has this different demeanor about her, and you're like, yeah,
That turns you on.
I'm saying,
Right?
Okay, let's get back to reality now. All right?
So you don't like Neo?
Let's get back to reality.
Come on, man, come on.
Arguments for me, don't start none, won't be none. But in the event that the argument does come about, I think what you should try not to do is to let passion take over. Especially with relationships. If you're in a relationship with someone and an argument does come about, the best thing that you try to do is make sure you go into the argument knowing what you're arguing about. My thing is keep on topic, don't stray, and the biggest thing, do not bring up past arguments.
Messy
If
arguments.
you're talking
Yeah.
about blue, don't start talking about red.
It's like wiping your ass with old toilet paper.
Exactly.
Terrible way to start.
It's a terrible way
Terrible way to
to
start.
start. My thing is you want to make sure that you don't say something that's definitely going to make the situation worse off than
long
what
run.
it is. Not every argument is going to end up like a Neo song.
True.
Understand?
What?
And my thing is if you do have to be, if it's a serious situation, it's a serious topic, and the argument and passions do flare up. My thing is you always have to be that sensible, I shouldn't say sensible one, but you always have to be the rational one in the whole scenario. My thing is, and keywords. Be very careful of keywords, because you could be having a very good heated discussion.
Right.
But then if something pops up, or something resonates, or something causes some past event to
Like
pop up,
like a girl's name or a guy's name, just pop back in.
swallow it down, fellas.
Like too much hot sauce in the mess.
That's like
my
putting
suggestion
Mentos in a
is-
Coke.
No, I've actually done that. I've actually done
I know, I know you've done it. That's why I'm laughing. We've all done that shit.
Yes.
But my thing is, right, at the end of the day, what
You
you
get
try
where I'm coming
to do,
from.
what you try to do, try to stay on topic. If you're the type of person who you're gonna fly off the handle really easily, my thing is, take a walk, do something. It doesn't necessarily solve the problem. Taking yourself away from the argument is never ever a good thing, because it's never ever gonna be resolved. It then leads to more problems, a lot more anxiety, a lot more pressure, and then it doesn't eventually to me, I don't think it results in anything positive when there's no reciprocation then. If the argument is a reciprocal, where it's only one-sided, that doesn't make any sense at all to me. So my thing is,
It doesn't.
So my thing is,
Do you mean the points or do you mean the actual
Argument?
the
attacks?
points,
The points, because
the points and the attacks. Because my thing is, right, for every I don't know, jab that somebody jabs at you. My thing is, right, if you're gonna go back at them, let it be known that you're just basically trying to state your case. And what I always try to tell people, don't tell somebody that they're wrong. Say that, okay, I disagree.
I disagree. Yep.
At least let them understand that you are listening to them. If you're just gonna be, no, let me talk. And then you're telling them, okay, low me, let me finish. But you never finish.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense.
Droning on.
It just keeps going on and on and on.
So you asked us our points.
Yeah.
So
I
now
mean,
we want to hear your POV.
and Nike ended on droning on, and I don't know if you can tell, but I talk a lot. It's one of those
I
defects
never
that I'm
knew
aware of. So I'll try to be.
It doesn't seem like that, man.
I'll try to be a little bit more concise in my presentation today. Relationships are gonna have arguments. That's just the reality of the situation. Jason touched on it, and I think he's right in the most part. If you have a relationship that doesn't have any conflict, then something's wrong.
You're living in a music video.
Yeah, something's really wrong, because you're not going to agree on everything. But even with that said, everything is not argument worthy.
True.
You have to manage your own tolerance levels. You have to understand what is worth fighting for. Now, to me, an argument, I mean, you can't predict an argument. If you're planning arguments, stop doing that shit. That's just nasty. But if an argument happens to come about, if somebody is persistent with doing something, and whatever it is that ticks you off, because I'm not gonna here to tell you what should and shouldn't get you upset. You know what gets you upset, and if you think it's warranted, go do it. My general rule of thumb is, when your friends come and tell you about their situations, and they more or less give you a scenario that you've been a part of, and know that you're taken away from the situation where you're the third party listening to it objectively, were you overreacting in the situation, or did you give the right approach? That's a good rule of thumb for me. It's a lot of the times when we're in the middle of the situation, when the situation is either caused by us or to us, we tend to skew the facts to
Passion takes over.
Passion takes over, but we skew the facts to make our point.
Right.
And what are you trying to do when you get to that point? Are you trying to win, quote unquote, the argument where you stop the person from having a point or being able to say a point? I mean, we've all watched those courtroom dramas where either the prosecution or the defense, whomever that the story is focused on, they drop their one line at the end, and it's the end all and be all. The case is thrown out, or the case dismissed, or found guilty. That's just fantasy. That's not what's going on. So you go into a situation and you get upset, and you say, "Hey, Naik, I didn't like this, and this." Now, based on Naik's response, I can see an argument being triggered, but you can't just jump up because something went wrong to start some beef. You understand? We all have our pet peeves, whether it be clothes not in the hamper or dirty dishes in the sink or whatever it is that you get off on with your significant other. it's you go with the problem. I didn't like XYZ. And then based on the reaction, then I can see an argument jumping off. But you can't just storm into the room looking to start some shit. To me, that's a big no-no.
And also, to add to what you just said, nobody's really gonna go into an argument to lose.
Yeah, but
that's the primary thing.
But the argument, but you should be looking to convey information and not win. That's the point I was trying to make.
You want to convey your point, but then there's so many different variables you have to take into consideration.
That's
you
true.
have to take care. Timing is everything.
Yep.
Tone plays a
That is very
big
important.
part.
Yeah.
Can't want to be aggressive.
And also, you have to make sure, and as I said before, you have to make sure that whatever you're saying is relevant to the particular argument that you bring.
Don't bring expired arguments.
And my thing is, right, if you're going to be the type of person that just wants to cause an argument just to get out of you looking guilty, makes no sense to me. But, you know, you can probably expound.
Hold on, before we get any further into this discussion, we're going to take a break.
Yeah.
So, you know, we can just let people soak in what we've told them just now, you know?
We'll be back after these messages.
You'll be right here.
But it would mean nothing, nothing, nothing. You're not a woman or a girl. Every year I'm searching for number one.
Excuse me, sir. Can I help you?
Yes, I found my number one. I'll take it.
The latest looks and the newest trends for home fashion is number one at Living Spaces, located on Old Palm Road.
Good evening, everyone. Once again, we're back, and it's still a man's world. Forever Jason, Dario, and Naik. And the discussion we're having this evening is how to have an argument, right? How to have an argument with your spouse. And we left off with
Or
Naik.
significant other.
Our significant other.
Or that dude.
We left off with
You know, that dude.
we left off with Naik making a point about what was that point you were making again?
Wow.
Well, what I was saying is that there are a couple of factors that always have to be taken into consideration when you're having an argument. You have to always consider your tone. You have to always consider the fact that the other person wants to win the argument just as much as you do. Also, you want to make sure that your body language and everything
Body language is big.
it's not
Non-threatening.
Non-threatening. You don't want it to come off as being menacing to the other person. You want to always make sure that whatever you're saying, you're sticking to your point. It's fine to stick to your point, but stick to your point. Don't be bringing up past arguments. Don't be projecting to something else that
could happen.
That could happen. My thing is, right, you don't assume things.
Give me 1 second. Has your girl ever gotten upset with you because you messed around in a dream? Has that ever happened to anybody? That happened. This is a true story. Just woke up messing with me, but another time for that. But
I saw this meme once, and this lady was watching. She was looking at this dude sleep, and then they had the caption at the bottom like, "How am I gonna mess up his life, cry about it, and still look like the victim?"
Yeah, I love that. I
digress. My thing is, right, at the end of the day, you always want to make sure that, as much as the arguments are gonna come, try to get them, nip them in the bud really quickly, and don't ever think that you leaving the fight is gonna stop the argument. It just delays it,
In some cases,
And
it
it can also
It's
escalates.
just like a
escalate,
dormant-
exactly, make a bigger problem.
Yeah, it's just like a dormant volcano. You know,
One of the
more
things-
you keep it there, and it just builds, and then you be driving down the road, and you know she be saying, "Wow, those are some big raindrops," and then you like drop top, and then she just blows up. It's like,
Yeah.
why are you talking about that? You know, you
Yeah, it
don't
comes
want
back.
that.
Exactly.
You don't want it. You don't want it
As
to just.
funny as it would be.
I'm saying.
And also, I'm glad you brought that point up. If your significant other is arguing to you, the worst thing that you could do is be smiling at them,
Yep.
making it seem like whatever they're saying
Is
is not
irrelevant.
making any
It's
sense.
Yeah.
minuscule.
And do not ask them those three questions. Do not
Are
those
you
three
done?
words.
Are you done?
That's right. Never ever do that.
Never do that.
Never do that. I mean, I don't like it when people do it to me. So I wouldn't necessarily want to do it to that other
But some
person
people do
either.
drone on, like myself.
Yes, we know this. But anyways, one of the things I always think about an argument is when you listen to what people say. There was a scenario. A lady was talking to me a couple days ago and telling me about a situation where it is that someone called her phone and told her that, "Did your man tell you about me?" And I'm like, "What did you do?" I wanted to know what she did. But she did something that made me laugh. She said, "Yes, he did, and it wasn't really good." She did that. The person didn't say anything on the phone, and then they hung up. But she said the reason why she did that is so that they didn't have any more leverage to put things in her head
Right.
to make a volcano out of a molehill. And what she did after was to go to him to confront him about
About
it
it, right.
after. So what's with this lady, you know? And but she went. The thing I admire is that she told me she approached it calmly, because this day and age, I don't think that word is in a lot of young ladies' vocabulary.
Calmly?
I'm like,
They like drama?
yeah,
Ratchet Mondays?
wow. I don't think it's a.
So-
I don't think it's a one day. I think it's an everyday thing for them.
Yeah, but
it's
they
a
make
lifestyle.
But is it worth an argument? That's the first thing.
That's
Is
the
it
thing.
is it worth an argument? Now, if you're in a relationship with somebody, you have to have a minimum expectation that this person is not here to hurt you. I mean, if you're in a relationship with somebody that's here to hurt you, then you shouldn't be in a relationship.
I don't think
So-
it's a relationship. It's a waste of time.
So that's another issue altogether. So the assumption has to be that this person isn't out to get me.
That too. But also one thing, even in a relationship, you always have to leave room for disappointment.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about
In the
it's-
argument vibes, yeah.
Right. So the person is not out to get you. Now, granted, there are people who do petty stuff. I'm not talking to you. Y'all are playing games. Y'all are not ready. This show is not for you. This is about serious people. If you're in a relationship and you know that your partner isn't out to get you, then you have a certain level of calmness that you can take, because
Exactly.
more often than not, it's a misunderstanding, a mistake. It's not a deliberate act. I tell people all the time that there's a difference between somebody deliberately mashing you and somebody being pushed and then they mash you. If you know it's a genuine mistake, it don't hurt so bad. Or that maybe that's just me. But
No, that makes sense.
I mean,
That's fine.
There are levels to constructive criticism.
yeah, of course,
You
of
know,
course. I mean,
constructive
you gotta tell me
criticism-
when there's a problem.
Constructive criticism can actually come off as looking and feeling and sounding like an argument. But
If you're always criticizing them.
if you're always critical of the other party,
Right.
But then if the other party is the type of person that will listen and listen, soak it up, but then you still see that this person still makes those mistakes. My thing is, right, you don't. I mean, it's good to outline what somebody is doing wrong,
Right.
a shortcoming, a little, vice, if you want to call it. But my thing is, right, if it's going to be an ongoing thing where it just develops and evolves into an argument every time, you have to then look at the person who's making the critique.
Yeah, but then, and to your point, yes, you have to look at the
Because
person making the
sometimes, you know
critique.
that sometimes the reason why they do this is because of how hegging or annoying you get with that.
This is the thing. Now, if you have a partner and you're usually critiquing, that's not a good thing. I mean, you gotta lump praise and then throw in the critiques every now and
My
again.
thing is, right, you don't want to create, it's not like a Build-A-Bear workshop where you're just going to be critical to the point that you're actually
Non-productively critical.
Yeah, you're basically molding this person into your ideal mate.
Yep.
And if
You're not
gonna
letting them be them.
Weird
and-
science.
No, my thing is right. If it's the weirdest thing.
Weird science. No.
If you met this person and you fell in love with this person, or you got together with this particular person because of that particular chemistry that you all have, why is it
You wanna
that
change them.
towards the end of it all, you want to then mold this person into this particular type of entity where all spontaneity, all creativity, all the same flamboyance that you probably saw from the outside in is going to just basically be diminished. But then I could go on and on and on about reasons why people argue, but then I do think, as Dario stated, if you're going to come into the argument, you have to also know that there should be some level of balance. There should be you making your point, you allowing the other person to state their case, and then there should be, as heated as it might get, there should be that particular point in time where everybody then comes to a wrap up. You know, you summarize everything, some sort of compromise.
But you know what I think is really critical? Don't argue in public. Don't do that.
Never try to embarrass somebody.
Don't do that. The circumstance.
Never embarrass.
This is the one circumstance where I encourage you to walk away. If something is happening in front of your face that's just too much for you, walk
Leave it
away.
alone, leave it
Just
alone.
walk away.
Let live, bro.
Walk away to your own detriment, even if it means that just what there is nothing good can come of having an argument in public.
And if you're the
There's
type
never
of
been a
person-
good- there's never been a good
it's never
scenario.
a good thing, and it's not even so much about this whole social media.
No.
It's about, you know,
It's just, the
basic common
scars are
respect.
deeper.
Exactly.
The scars are
Yeah,
deeper. I mean,
it's
calm your
level
scunt
of
home, if you calm your
embarrassment.
scunt on the road, that's a different thing
Yeah, it's a
altogether.
disrespectful kind of situation. My thing is, if you're gonna berate somebody, berate them, but then let it be in a situation where, you know,
Dropping the person's self.
everybody doesn't have to know that we're at
I agree.
odds. Everybody doesn't have to know that all of us are at loggerheads.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't like Jason's shirt, but I would never come in here. and
Jason
start
doesn't like
about-
Jason's shirt though.
Jason's shirt doesn't like
Like
Jason's
Jason,
shirt.
when we digress.
But I'm just saying.
I like the shirt like that.
No, you see, Jason wants to argue with me. No, but you see what he's gonna do? He's gonna wait until we go on a break, and then he's gonna probably want to tell me something.
But what Jason
I am.
doesn't know, when we go to break, we're gonna go live.
We're gonna go live.
Well, then you will hear my voice.
But seriously, I mean, and what another thing that it causes a trickle-off effect of this public arguing. Now, with the public arguing, don't get a committee together to judge a man or judge a woman.
No,
you
don't
don't.
gang on.
that-
Don't gang
no.
on.
You don't need to be calling 10 friends. Now, if you have one confidant, you do need somebody. Every spillway needs a vent. You know, you need to
Buy a diary. Write it down.
Now, diaries are dangerous. The wrong person might get that.
Okay, then write some
Diary.
songs.
People are gonna
Write
gonna
poems.
judge. People are gonna.
Yeah, I know, but I mean,
you know.
more often than not, we all have that one reasonable friend.
Yeah.
But don't make it a committee hearing. Don't make it a trial out of commission.
Yeah, but Jack Daniels doesn't talk back.
Nah, he doesn't. He doesn't. He whispers in my ear though, but that's another thing altogether. But we're gonna take a break, and when we come back again, our final thoughts on how to have an argument after this.
Stay tuned.
We'll be right back.
But it would mean nothing. Nothing. You know the woman? Oh, girl.
And we're back. It's still a man's world. I'm Naeem,
Dario.
Forever Jason.
and we're talking tonight about arguments. How to have an argument, what causes an argument, and the best way to avoid an argument. Well, not so much the last one, but then we're giving you our point of view because we know a little bit about everything, except for Dario. Dario
He knows everything.
a lot about little bit.
Yeah,
but still, at the end of the day,
That's me.
what we're trying to talk about and what we're trying to resonate to everybody is, different things that may cause arguments. If the arguments do come up, and they will come up, what to do, what not to do, and Jason, what are your final thoughts?
Well, my final thoughts on arguments, try to avoid them, but they will come. If you're in a relationship and you're not arguing, something is wrong. I can't stress that part. Do not be as paranoid as I am, but something is wrong.
Sounds
Check
very
it.
personal.
Paranoid.
All right. Know your partner. Know what ticks them off. Know what calms them down. Know their limits, and play fair. I mean, arguments are healthy. Arguments can be fun. I mean, we do them all the time. But play fair, because at the end of the day, winning isn't winning. You're not trying to. It makes no sense that I move forward and you stay back. That's not how a team works. We all have to go forward. So if I'm going to take a step, I'm taking a step with you. So don't look for a quote unquote win. Make your point. Give your partner the opportunity to make their point, and know that in some cases, this is the truth. You both can be right, and you both can be wrong.
Yep.
It's happened. So don't be too proud. You can be wrong even when you think you're right. I mean, Nike's wrong constantly, especially about Jason's shirt. This is a lovely shirt.
Thank you, Anyway, also, hold on. Also, remember, sometimes the new song is right.
Your song is never right.
The when you're mad, I'm just talking about
I'm
that
with
particular
you.
song.
I know.
Okay, let me be
There's
the
a song
voice.
called Mirrors. That's a good song. But I
Let me be the voice of reason for the afternoon.
Wait, what?
And before Darius tells more lies and his nose digs, impales me. I think what we all should realize with arguments are that yes, they will come, and as Dario pointed out, there is no right and wrong answer. There are things that you can learn in an argument.
Yeah.
It's always good to have a healthy, heated conversations because you're not going to agree on everything. And if you do agree on everything, there's something seriously wrong. Somebody's being made into a puppet, and somebody is definitely taking advantage of the other person. So my thing is, arguments, they are going to come.
Have fun with them.
Have fun with them. Try to learn as much as you can from them. Try to learn the bad ones. Try to avoid them. Listen to criticism. And, if you know the argument came about some particular quirk that you do, always remember that, you're in a relationship. Things are going to have to change.
Yeah.
So then you're going to have to either step up, cut that particular thing out so that you can prevent the argument from happening again. And that goes man to woman, woman to man.
Dude, stop right there. And because we love you, I'm saving you from yourself. Don't do it. Because we love you, I'm going to go home tonight, have an argument with my partner just to do some research so I can bring back more information to you guys next week. So remember to check.
He's going to take pictures.
I'm going to take pictures, man.
Hold on. Before we close off, another thing.
Yeah.
If someone tells you something about your spouse, don't go attacking them.
Suppose it's true.
Do not go attacking still. How would they know if it's true? They can be inquisitive, but not be rash.
The video's not proof?
Talking about videos, I'm saying.
The video's not proof?
I don't
Really?
I don't know.
But anyways,
Remember to check out our Facebook page. It's at It's a Man's World CVN. Remember to like the page.
share.
And follow us.
And every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Caribbean Vibes Network. That's what network is that? Flow, Channel 100. Every week, 8 o'clock.